On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Wide receiver going in motion. Out of the gun, they'll run it inside. Out across the 20 to the 21-yard line, a 3-yard gain. All right, guys, let's chat for a minute about Marshall. You start the season top 25. Clearly, expectations are flying your way, but with that might come some roadblocks.
Well, I think you got to take every week and every opponent one at a time. The number beside your name doesn't matter right now. The number matters late in the season. So you want to start the season fast. You want to be gelling on offense and on defense. I think that's the challenge early here.
Absolutely. Figuring out who you are. Obviously, some talented pieces, well thought of in the top 25, but a lot of season to go out and prove it. Day one, game one. Make that first impression.
Love the physicality of this secondary on defense. That defender got to the football, was able to separate the receiver from the ball, and did it legally. Beautiful job.
Third and 6, and they'll need a big play here on this opening drive. Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. Third and 6, and they'll need a big play here on this opening drive. From the gun, wants to pass. On the move, he fires. Another incompletion on third down.
Well, you got to love that if you're on defense, because you were able to affect the quarterback with pressure, and you only rushed 3 guys. Well done.
Marshall will be forced to punt. This will be their first punt of the afternoon. And the punt team able to smack him to the ground. Bunch formation for these receivers. To the air, it's Newman. That's caught. It's Hamilton. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few. The Blue Devils want to pick up the tempo. Love seeing these early season top 25 matchups. You can get a really good feel of how good these teams are, guys.
And the intensity is going to be big too, David, because the players, you know, on these teams, they've been thinking about this game for a long time. They knew they'd have a national stage, and they got a chance to prove just how good they are.
Oh, man, make that statement. Make that early statement. We always look at the end of the season, and what does the committee say? Oh, they beat top 25 so-and-so. Here.
He's going to let it go. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. Going the other way, and he's got room. The 40. And they were most fortunate to catch up to him there. He almost turned that into a pick.
Man, and he had a convoy, too. As soon as he had the ball, he just looked around, and there was just a lot of open green, and he took off. Great job by his teammates on defense, getting downfield and setting up some blocks.
Marshall takes over the ball. The Thundering Herd offense coming out. Finding themselves down 7-0. They'd love to get a drive going here. And how about the efficiency on that one? It'll bring up 2nd and 4. Let's talk for a second about Marshall. Pick up on the defensive front. Three-star defensive lineman gives a verbal commitment last week, and you really need to bring good talent into the program. Maybe diamonds in the rough. At this level, that's how they thrive.
Oh, there's no doubt. And just some of these guys, they're not as refined, but they've got the tools, right? And so I think he's got the tools, and this is a guy that you can build around on that defensive line. You need all the big bodies you can get.
And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete. All right, guys, let's chat for a minute about Marshall. Their offseason, just what they were looking for. Top 10 recruiting class. Now they've got to figure out how to best use that talent, Jesse.
Well, not just difference makers in this top 10 class, but they've got some guys that they think can be key contributors both on offense and defense. And in this first game, you know they've got to be excited.
Yeah, and they're probably nervous too, right? Like first big-time stage, big-time moment. A lot of young talent. Let's see how they start their career off.
Leaves it with the back. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. Lost to fire on second down. And he was trying to cash in the end zone in this red zone threat, but it's incomplete.
Nice job by the defense there, taking all throws away from the quarterback. He had nowhere to put that football in the field to play, so that ball obviously had to go out of bounds.
The Thundering Herd needing a ton of ground to get it to that first down marker. He caught it! They will score! Touchdown, Herd!
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, hits you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy, the connection between quarterback, wide receiver. You can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
We thought we might see some of this. They'll go to the Wildcat formation here. Back has it. Plows through the defense. They stop him just a link or two short of the first, and man, what they can do on second down here.
And the offense has a little bit of success, and what do? They push that turbo button right back on the line, ready to run another play.
Breaks into the open. He's at the 40. He's at the 20. They bring him down, but that's why you give them that wildcat look to create an opportunity for big plays. He now has 72 yards on the ground in the first quarter. What a tremendous start to this season. They say it's still a game of field position, and that last one just flipped this baby. They've got it 1st and 10 in the red zone. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
Man, it's easy to play defense when you can do this. When you can get to the quarterback quick and make him make a decision quick, it makes it easier for the secondary, for the linebackers, for everybody on the field.
Looking to pass. It's Newman. Snags it. That completion will take it inside the 4, and the offense is threatening.
You see this more and more in college football. Motion the running back out of the backfield. What am I looking for? I'm looking to see if it's man coverage. Does a linebacker go and chase him? If he does, guess what I get to do? Take advantage of my matchup. I like mine.
And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Blue Devils. Follow the blockers. The offensive line will take you to the hallelujah land.
And I tell you what, most of the time, Reese, it requires a little bit of skill to find that hole and, slither through a little crack. That was not a crack. That was wide open. Didn't take a lot of vision because the blocking was outstanding.
He'll bring it out from inside his own 10. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game. Offense took a little bit too much time at the line there. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half.
Timeout, Marshal.
The snap sets up the throw. Fires to the wideout. It's incomplete, and he's lucky to get that one back. Almost intercepted.
They just have not been able to get this guy going. They've thrown it to him over and over again here in the first quarter, and QB and him just not able to link up. The defense knew that was what...
Lets it fly. Intercepted. Takes it the other way. Finally brought down, but what a play, not only to get the football, but to flip the field position with the return.
And that's going to be a tough throw for the quarterback to make, right? He's right-handed, he's rolling to his left, and that throw is going way down the field. So he's not going to be able to get all the velocity he wants. He didn't have the accuracy either, and that's a bad combination, and that's a big part of why that ball was intercepted.
What will they dial up on second and a long way to go? Looking to throw, it's Newman. A shot toward the end zone. And swatted down by the defense to stop the scoring opportunity.
I think the QB wants that one back. You know, you're down here in the red zone, tighter areas, hard enough to fit it in, but definitely not wanting to fit it in against double coverage, and he misses, and probably a good miss, because that could have been worse.
Got it in the middle, it's Moore. They're able to keep him out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 2 after the big play in the passing game. With the run on first and goal. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Duke.
And this offense is firing on all cylinders right now. Starting the year, game 1, and creating a little bit of a pad and separation at the end of this first half. But you can see why so many people are really excited about this offense this season.
We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Guys, let's take a look at what's happening in a great college football matchup. TCU is currently trailing, but if this young star leads a comeback today, he could join former Heisman winner Davey O'Brien among the legends to wear that uniform. It's just a field goal game. They're trailing by 3 to Stanford.
Give to the running back.
We'll circle back if anything big happens in this college football matchup.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. He'll get rid of it. Can't hang on. It's incomplete, and you can't worry about the footsteps when you're running those crossing routes. It'll be third down.
And that doesn't happen very often. That's their go-to guy. I love the way they move him around the field, and they try to attack the middle with him to get the ball in his hands and let him do some damage.
He'll take a deep shot here. And they wanted it all on third down, but now dealing with fourth down. Marshall will be forced to punt. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. He was working his way toward midfield, but they'll stop him at the 46-yard line. They'll be able to get off one more play before quarter's end. Back to pass, it's Newman. Going over the top. And they dialed up a shot play, but they couldn't hook up. Oh, he had him out there, and he was trying to compensate for that speed, but just a little too much distance.
That's just greased lightning, so you think, I can't overthrow this guy. I'm going to throw it out there and let him run underneath it just a little bit too far for the speedster.
They get him on the ground, and with that, we'll head to the second quarter. Guys, time has expired here in the quarter, and Duke is on top. And they were able to build that lead into double figures. Let's take a quick look at our early stats before we move on. This offense had a little extra time to think about it. Let's see what they have on third down. To the ground to try to pick up the first. And he earns a first down, and boy, did he earn it after taking that lick. He has 89 yards rushing, and that is quite an impressive first half here in this season opener. We thought we'd see a little wildcat formation in this spot, and here it is. Creates a little room. There he goes. Makes it past the marker. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Blue Devils. Boy, did he just scorch that defense for that score.
He shows you all of it, Reese. He's got the speed. He's got the agility. This dude's a big-time playmaker. You just give him the ball, and he'll find different ways to kill you on different plays.
And the extra point is true, and the lead balloons to 21. Kickoff unit has been busy as they have built a big lead, and they're trying to hold on to it. The ball squirts through the end zone. That'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. The Marshal offense makes its way back onto the field. They're looking at a 21-point hole. There's still time to do some work, but there's also no time to waste. Finds his man. It's Stevens. Really nice pickup there as they have it out to the 44 with a first down.
And after that long completion for the first down, did you see everybody sprinting to the line of scrimmage offensively? They want to go tempo right now.
And a good, solid pickup there before the defense knocks him down.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
The Thundering Herd to the line, facing a 2nd and short.
22,
Trying play action. Lets it fly. And he drops it. Just took his eye off of it at the last minute.
And in this weather, man, you start to see more of this. You try to throw the ball harder to penetrate it through the weather and get it to your target, but just catching a football that's a little bit slippery sometimes, you'll see some of those drops, and it's just part of the game.
The Thundering Herd faces a 3rd and short. They'll try to bully their way for the first. That'll get the job done and move the chains, and they'll mark the ball at the 45. Marshal quick to the line.
Really good job running the ball, getting that first down. Now here comes the time.
Unleashes one deep. And he got a hand on it to knock it down in the end zone.
Well, we know this offense hasn't been able to get it going on the ground so far in this game. Now they're trying through the air, but give this defense credit. They've got a really good game plan. They've got all 11 guys on that side of the ball executing perfectly. Fantastic job in the back end that time, being in position and making sure that thing fell incomplete.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long.
Here we go.
Keeps it on the bootleg, looking to throw. Outside the pocket, lets it go. And he dropped it, just didn't look the thing all the way in.
Obviously, when you're playing in weather like this, the ball is very slippery and it's hard to catch. The QB threw a bullet that time, and his receiver just could not reel it in.
The Thundering Herd trying to dial one up to convert on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Got his man. Now they're really starting to threaten as they pick up the first down at the 34-yard line.
And I don't know if this defense knows what just hit them, because they gave up the completion, they gave up a first down, and now here's the offense back up at the line of scrimmage again, going tempo.
Grabbed in the middle, it's Stevens. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the first down.
Well, it wasn't a great start for this quarterback, but on this drive, he seems to be turning the corner. He just looks like he's playing in a different rhythm. He's seeing the field better. It's almost as if the game is starting to slow down for him. And I think on that last completion, it was a good example of it.
It's complete to the right. He'll go out of bounds, and he steps out right at the 8-yard line, and this offense is in business.
QBs, when you see zone coverage, man, can you manipulate defense when you have a good pocket and you've got time to throw. He had a little bit of time to throw. You can move guys with your eyes. That drag comes wide open. Good throw, good catch, first down.
And he is just engulfed at the line by this giant defensive tackle. Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. Fires to the tight end.
Nice job, defense. You always hear people talk about tackling the catch. You saw it right there. There was nowhere for that receiver to go once he had possession. As a result, no gain.
Now 3rd and goal and tough yardage to cover here.
Down. Shadow.
They'll go to the air. Here comes the heat. He'll throw it. It'll be incomplete. Tried to extend the play, but just couldn't find anybody open.
And you just got to wonder if the pass rush affected the QB's accuracy on that throw. He had his guy wide open in the end zone, but he had to throw it a split second faster than he wanted to, and the ball got away from him.
Here we go on 4th and goal, ground to cover.
22
Snap in the shotgun. Looking for the goal line. He will be stopped. Couldn't turn the corner, and the defense makes the play.
Great coverage on that 4th down play. Nice job blanketing the receiver out wide. The defense, you could tell, they knew they were going for it. They had a game plan. They get the big stop and turn it over to their offense.
From the shotgun, the inside give. Finds a hole, and he'll pick up 6 out to the 8-yard line. All right, guys, let's look at the big picture for Duke. They lose in the semis last year. Any potential for a hangover this season?
I don't think so, and I think they obviously didn't finish last season the way they wanted to, but having the success they had, David, that opened the eyes to a lot of portal players around the country. They wanted to come here knowing they could build on that and take the next step.
And sometimes it takes those steps, Jesse. Like, you've got to crawl before you walk. And this team, they tasted it. They know what it feels like. They know what it's like to be in the playoffs. And they want more. And they get to take some anger out and some hard feelings out today to start this season.
Defense played the Wildcat very well on that one, stopping them for a short gain. They'll try to convert from the Wildcat. Direct snap. Find some fresh air. How about that defense rising up and stopping him short on 4th down?
Nice job by the defense on 4th down, bowing up, getting physical, stopping the run, shutting down that 4th down play. Really good job by this defense.
He bullies his way all the way down to the 5-yard line. Marshall quick to the line. Back to pass on 2nd down. Can't make the connection, and the defense putting it on the heat and forcing the incompletion.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
Rush is on him. Can't make the grab as he was looking for his man right at the goal line.
I know one of the things this defense really prides themselves on is being physical, and early in this game, putting a big hit on a guy that's already had a couple catches in this game, that's a good omen for the defense.
He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. He wants it all. And it's knocked away, and they don't convert on 4th down.
I love when defenses are smart enough to swat the ball down. Don't go for the pick, especially on 4th down. They knock it down. You get the ball anyways. Nice job by the defender.
To the ground with the back. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Throws to the wideout. Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover. Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football. They'll get a chance to work on that hurry-up offense here in the final minute of the first half. Oh, man, what a missed opportunity. Big fella almost got to run with the ball. Instead, it falls incomplete and brings up second down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Wants to throw. He's working against the clock. Fires on the move. It's incomplete and maybe a little too aggressive from this senior trying to fit that one in there.
And there's an example of what happens when the quarterback doesn't have a chance to set his feet. The pressure just forced him to have to work off schedule a little bit. And I think because of that, he wasn't able to be as accurate as he wanted to be.
And he just held on to the football too long, and the defense rode him out of bounds and forced the loss.
Well, this is a quarterback who's used to using his athleticism to his advantage and burning defenses. But
As any fan of college football knows, when you go on the road, you never know what you might run into. Welcome, everyone, to Huntington, West Virginia, Jones C. Edwards Stadium, home of the Marshal Thundering Herd. As we'll see a participant from last year's playoff, the Duke Blue Devils, taking on a team from the playoff a year ago, the Marshal Thundering Herd. Glad to have you with us for EA Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack and Jesse Palmer with me in the booth. Guys, we're ready to tee it up. Marshall will kick off to get the festivities started. On the move from inside is 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. As they go to the Wildcat and use the extra blocker. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. Offense in a bunch formation. He leaves it with his back. Defense there to stop him after a gain of 1 to the 22. And the Blue Devils racing to the line in the hurry-up. Wants to throw. It's Newman. Snagged in the middle. It's Moore. Good, solid pickup on that one. They've got it out to the 40, and it's first down.
When these wide receivers work the middle of the field, so much of this is feel. Understanding where the holes are in the zone or understanding how to get leverage on a man. And these wide receivers are dangerous nowadays because they do it so fast and see that so quick and make those plays over the middle.
Snap to the back. Running to Green. Turning it on. They finally make the stop, but the defense out of sorts against that Wildcat, and they give up a big play.
And how about that? Right after they get the explosive play running the ball, they're going right back to the line of scrimmage for some tempo.
Looking for room at the 30. He's up to 41 yards rushing already. What a way to start this new season.
This defense is going to have to do a better job slowing down the run. We've seen twice now in this opening drive this guy break one. And so this defense has to do a better job at the point of attack, and their D coordinator probably is already thinking to himself, do I have to get another guy in the box to slow this guy down?
The secondary walks up on the line, showing press coverage. Look out, he's got room. Getting work done on the ground. He's pulled down at the 14-yard line. Let's talk for just a minute about Duke. They had quite the ride last year, made it to the semifinals, couldn't finish the deal. Regression or redemption?
And today we're going to find out, and that's what's cool. Last year did not finish the way they wanted to, but they did get to the playoff. That is an accomplishment. Now, did that raise the level of intensity for these guys for a whole offseason, Jesse, and do they come out better?
I think it has. I think the sense of urgency on this team has actually gone up. There were a lot of people patting them on the back last year. Yeah, you didn't win it all, but you made it to the playoff. Nice job. They're hungrier than they were a season ago. Let's see if that shows itself here today.
And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
I love when defensive backs come up and they are physical and they stick their face in the fan and they aren't scared. Talking to the defensive coordinator coming into this game, he knew his DBs had to tackle well. They had to get these running backs on the ground. Great start.
And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13.
Yeah, in this part of the field, man, those windows shrink, and it's hard as a quarterback sometimes to really force yourself to throw the football. You're sitting in a good spot in second and goal. Just throw that thing away. Don't take the sack and put you in a bad situation.
Snagged in the end zone. Touchdown, Duke.
I think a lot of people probably expected to see that, right? They're playing on the road, and you know this is going to be a hostile environment, but they've got the better players, and we've seen that before. There was no hesitation. Opening drive, they go right down the field, they score a touchdown, and they made a statement.
He's got it for the two-point conversion, and they're up 8-0.
How about that for aggressive? You march down the field, you score a touchdown on the opening drive of the game, and you go for two, and it all is gravy. 8-0 early.
And he takes this from inside the 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. Hauls it in. He'll be stopped at the 27, but picks up 10 on that one.
Well, your opponent scored on their opening drive, so obviously no need to panic. But I know, having been in this situation as a quarterback, you want to answer right away. So really good to see him making some nice throws here on their opening drive. He's going to try and see if he can get this thing tied up.
Got rid of it in a hurry, but he couldn't find his man. It's incomplete. This is a kind of game, a top 25 matchup in the early season that you look for when you're trying to build your resume.
Yeah, these are so fun because as a player you kind of get bored if you don't get challenged, but when you got an early season challenge like this, all the adrenaline, all the juice, Palmer, you're ready to rock and roll.
I love this. We've had this game circled for a long time because we learn a lot in these types of games. What are these teams about? Which conferences are better? You're going to get a lot of answers today.
Marshall quick to the line. On 3rd and short, they'll try to convert through the air. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up.
And I like the aggressiveness on 3rd and short, trying to throw the football, take advantage of a look that they...
The snap to the up man. They'll fake it. And the gamble works in their favor this time as they pick up the 1st down.
They had the exact look they had practiced for and what they wanted. The up man gets the snap directly. He's able to use the speed, get the 1st down, and then chains are moving.
They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. Marshall comes to the line way behind the sticks here on 2nd and long.
Nice job by this defense creating that negative play. That's what all defenses want to do. But look at this. This offense, they ain't scared. Right back on the ball, ready to run another play, ready to make this defense work.
You want to make sure to maximize those types of runs, and he gets it out to the 41. Marshall comes to the line facing 3rd and long. From the gun. Oh, he's got some space. They've got the defense reeling right now with that big play to the 29. Marshall back at it with another 1st and 10.
That's what's so scary about this offense. They've got guys in the perimeter that can change the game in one single play, and you saw it right there. Too much speed on the perimeter to create that explosive play.
That's what I'm talking about. That is how you close, and when a guy's going to make a catch, you make sure he doesn't make it. Physicality, using your pads, running through him, and guess what? Not only this play does he feel it, next time he tries to go over the middle or feels footsteps, this will pay dividends.
All right, you got to be careful here if you're the quarterback, right? Back-to-back incompletions. You've had a nice drive. You're still in field goal range, though. Think about this. You cannot take a sack. That has got to be what the play caller is reminding his quarterback about in the headsets right now. If it's not...
Touchdown! Thundering herd! All that baby in and then stroll into the end zone for the score.
Man, this guy is an elite tight end. This guy is a dude. He keeps making plays like this. We're going to start comparing him to Brock Bowers and Kyle Pitts. The run after the catch, the big body, the athletic ability. He has it all.
And he made that extra point, the wet turf, no problem at all. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. So they come to the line, and the Wildcat going to give him a different look. Back has it. And this Wildcat is going to be declawed, stopped in the backfield.
And you hear about run blitzes. This is exactly what a run blitz is. When you know the ball's coming up the middle, you want to bring those linebackers, get them closer to the line of scrimmage, and fire. Right when the ball snaps, he's coming downhill, doing a good job creating the loss. That linebacker really knew what was going on.
Looking to throw, it's Newman. Release to the back. Gets it out fast. And after the tackle, that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. On third and short, they keep it on the ground here. And I don't think he got there. No, they stopped him short. He does not pick up the first down. Now to see if these guys can get back in the game as we open the second quarter. And how about this lower intestinal fortitude? 4th and 1 in your own territory, and they're going. Out of the crowd, and now he's got room. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
You know, I think there's a lot of people in the stadium that were wondering, why are they going for it on 4th and 1 in their own end of the field? But the gamble paid off.
Lining up in the Wildcat, let's see what they've got. Direct snap. Got a little space. Got the first down and more. Turns it on down the left side. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Blue Devils. Once he got a step, it was all over right to the house. You're not going to keep the lid on this guy forever. Sooner or later, he's going to get loose.
He is. He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I mean, this dude can make plays. That's why you keep feeding it to him, because at some point, he's going to break it loose and make a huge play.
And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Boys, if it's happening in college football, we've got eyes on it. Check this out. Texas State is currently trailing in this one, but it feels like the tide may be turning. This program has picked itself up before, and it's capable of it again today. It's just a field goal game. They're trailing by 3 to Ohio. We'll circle back if anything big happens you need to know about.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Might be calling a hot route. He'll start this drive going to the air. He hurls one deep down the left side. And he bats it away. It falls incomplete. Let's talk for a second about Marshall. Biggest problem for schools that aren't the traditional powerhouses, getting the bodies they need, especially on the defensive front. And, David, they got a good one out of high school last week.
It's so nice to get a 3-star defensive lineman. A guy like that's got some size, that's got some potential. Again, you want to rotate those guys as much as possible, keep them fresh. This guy could be a player down the road.
Marshall quick to the line. On third and long, try to convert through the air. Going right and going deep. And that'll be incomplete. They certainly weren't afraid to take a shot there, and now it's 4th down. Marshall will be forced to punt. They'll have to punt for the first time this afternoon. Excellent coverage that time. Didn't give him any room to set up a big return. And the Duke offense heads back out onto the field. They've been firing on all cylinders, touchdowns on each of the first 2 drives, and they'll try to make it 3 for 3. And the defense forced that incompletion with the deflection.
I love defenses that can mix it up between man and zone, and I love the vision right here by the cornerback, seeing the quarterback the whole way, breaking on the football when that hand separates from the other hand. Nice job getting the deflection. Nice vision by that cornerback.
Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Looking downfield, it's Newman. A little release to the back. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
What's important in this game, this offense gets the running back involved out of the perimeter in space where he can do some damage. That time they got it to him throwing the football. He picked up a couple of yards, but it gives the defense something to think about.
Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. Caught over the middle. It's Hamilton. He's going to come up about 5 yards short of the line to gain.
Ooh, and that's a nice sigh of relief for the defense too, right? There was a broken tackle, and the guy made it look like he was going to pick up the first, but because of great effort defensively, they were able to get the stop, and now they're setting up fourth down.
Makes the grab, he's got a first down. Brought down at the 20-yard line after ripping off the big play. The Blue Devils getting set on 1st and 10. They'll try the run. They pull him down at the 17 after a pickup of 3.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying.
Breaks into the open. Got some room, headed to the goal line. And he'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Duke.
I think you love starting the year off with some momentum, and that's exactly what this offense is doing. They're firing on all cylinders, defense doing their job as well. This team getting out the gates to start the season in great fashion.
And with the extra point, they move on top by 15. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they finished it off with a 17-yard touchdown run. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. No reason to be in a big rush. They have some time here late in the half. Off-play action on 1st down. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. And it's incomplete. They were looking for the huge gain on 1st down. All right, guys, let's chat for a minute about Marshall. What an offseason in the recruiting department, reeling in a top 10 class, and you got to think that's going to help.
Man, yeah, it's just nice when you get some recruiting and some excitement, right? Get a top 10 class. You know the talent is really, really good. The young talent pushes the older talent, Jesse, and it just makes the squad obviously so much better.
And with that top 10 class, David, they really feel like they were able to reload the roster, and they think they've got some impact freshmen in this class as well. Can't wait to see what they do today.
He's snuffed out behind the line again, went right back to the well and got the same bad result. The give to the back. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
You wonder about that play call on 3rd and long, maybe just trying to get themselves a little bit more real estate, but it didn't fool the defense. They create another negative play now deep in the opponent's territory.
They're cornering the market on fakes. Here comes another one. And the pass is incomplete, and the fake punt is a wash. You have an incompletion like that, you always think, why not just let the quarterback throw it? The element of trickery was afoot, and it didn't work. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. Toss to the outside. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. We're at the 2-minute timeout. They've built a big lead, and they'll try to pile on a little more before the break. 2nd down coming up on this red zone opportunity. To throw, it's Newman. Makes the grab. Touchdown, Blue Devils! Made the grab and took it on in for the score. When you're handed a break with unbelievable field position like that, you better finish the deal, and they did.
You saw the quarterback jog on the field. I think he gave a high five to every one of those players coming off that just put them in position to go score that touchdown. That QB knew this was a golden opportunity, and boy, he took advantage of it.
Bounced off his feet.
And these decisions to go for 2, you see more and more of it throughout a game, chasing points. And then in the end, you wonder if this just comes back to bite you.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Plenty of time left in the half here as they take over, but they will want to be efficient here in the final 2 minutes. The give to the back. And he'll pick up one. It brings up 2nd and 9.
It's definitely too early to panic, but there's some bad feelings going on for this offense right now. You're way down on the scoreboard. I know we're still in the first half, but after that last play, it's pretty obvious. You can't run the ball. You're becoming a one-dimensional offense at a time when you need to be able to score some points. So either get it done through the air or you've got to be more physical up front.
The Thundering Herd trying to dial one up to convert on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Catch in the middle, it's Stevens. They'll move the chains after he gets it to the 43-yard line. Marshall quick to the line. Wants to go up top on 1st down. Fires to the big fella. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. And here comes the offense on 2nd down. Gonna look downfield again. Finds his tight end. Knocked down at the 47. It's a 5-yard gain and enough to move the chains. Marshall back at it with another 1st and 10. They'll send the tight end in motion. Power football with the run. You'll take 4 yards on 1st down every time, 2nd and 6.
And that's a really nice play. It's impressive. When it's 1st down and the defense thinks you might be running the football, you still can line up. You can get some movement at the point of attack and find a little crease for your running back.
And he dropped it. It looked for all the world like that would be a catch, and he just got too excited.
This offense just has to find a way to find a rhythm here. They're playing at home, and they want this crowd to stay involved and be an asset in the game, but they need to start making plays. They can't keep throwing it.
Snags it inside the 20. He's down right at the 17, and the clock will stop to move the chains on the 1st down. The Thundering Herd was stuck with some tough field position, but now a chance to get a drive going. Got some room headed to the goal line, and he'll step into the end zone. Touchdown, Marshall!
And that touchdown is so big for this offense, right? Because here at the end of the half, you're just trying to find positives you can build upon in the 2nd half. And right when it was looking like this game was starting to get away from them, they're able to execute, score, and that's going to help their confidence.
He wisely lets that one bounce through the back of the end zone, and they'll take over at the 25. We thought we'd see a little wildcat formation in this spot, and here it is. Snap to the back. They forged ahead just a bit. Not a lot working with the wildcat there. So they come to the line, and the wildcat going to give them a different look. Back has it. Finding an escape route. There he goes. He's at the 50. At the 30. The 10. Slippery slide. Find his way and ran away from the crowd into the end zone. Touchdown, Duke.
And with that score, this thing is getting ugly. This offense has had their way, and not only have they had their way, now they finish the half like you're supposed to, scoring the football, building on their lead. This defense is going to have to go into half and find some answers.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And they tack on the extra point. It's 35-13. What a display of explosive capabilities on that drive. 75 yards, 2 plays, and a touchdown. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. On the run from inside his own 5. He'll be brought down, and that's the final play of the half. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update. And the Blue Devils will line up to kick off and start the second half. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. Marshall takes over the ball. The thundering herd offense coming out. They come into this third quarter with a lot of work they need to get done.
Yeah, and it's
Turning it on. They'll get him on the ground at the 46, and it'll be a first down.
I'll tell you, the defense is going to have to do a much better job containing these outside run plays. They better be able to funnel the football back to the middle of the field because this guy with his speed can kill you like he did on that outside run play there to the left.
They're going to ride this running back. Got enough for the first. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
Well, you wonder if one of the adjustments they made at halftime, trailing in this game, was to try and get the ground game established, David. They're off to a good start here.
dang right. Stay patient. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to press. Just try to get scoring drives together. Don't abandon the run.
Coaches always harp about staying ahead of the chains, and when you can run with that type of efficiency on first down, man, you are doing just that.
Now the play fake. Pressure coming. He got his hands on it, but couldn't hold on to it. And what a time that would have been for their first pick of the game.
This is going to be a key that we look at this entire game. How can this defense find ways to affect this quarterback and get pressure on him? Because they felt coming into the game, if they could do that, they could affect him and influence this passing game.
Marshall now lines up trying to convert on 3rd and short. He'll try to pick it up on the ground. And he needed 1 yard, and he didn't get it. The defense won the battle up front.
Man, the momentum is squarely on their side right now. It's starting to feel like they're running away with this one. They scored a touchdown their last time out. Now on this drive here in the 3rd quarter, the defense makes a massive play against the run, creating a negative play. They've got the opponent going backwards.
Marshall will be forced to punt. That last fake, and they'll fake it again. And he's got it. Got to get to the sticks. Not going to get there as this defense makes a stand.
Man, everybody loves a fake punt until it doesn't work. And how about the defense? Great job being aware, not falling asleep. That's what happens. A lot of times you fall asleep, you give up a big play, give up the first down. They were dialed in, they were ready, and they stopped the guy just short of the first down.
Finds his man. It's Hamilton. He snagged him, but he'll be stopped short of the first down. Good, solid pickup on that play.
Yeah, when you get that man coverage, most people are taught to have inside leverage. So that out route's there if your QB can put some air on it and throw it outside of the guy. But tight coverage, but a really nice throw on that out route.
To the air, it's Newman. Just a little off. Incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough day for this defense. They haven't been able to force that many incompletions. They've already allowed 2 TD passes. They need more plays like that, and they got to be able to put it back-to-back to gain some confidence defensively.
They'll throw on 3rd and short. Looking for a huge play. Makes the grab inside the 30. He'll work his way down to the 28.
To be honest, I think the quarterback was a little bit surprised himself at the play call that came in that time. You've got a 3-possession lead here in the 3rd quarter of this game. You're probably expecting some short throws, some runs. And this play caller is still asking for shot plays. And listen, you're the quarterback, you're
looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Devils. And they take it in for 6 more points.
And it's been more of the same in the second half for this offense, doing whatever they wanted. What a start to the season, man. This is exactly what you draw up. Everything they drew up in the offseason has worked in game 1, and that's why they are dominating this football game. He'll
try to tack on one more. And with the extra point, they push the lead out a little further. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Dynamite matchup today, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. East Carolina is lighting up the scoreboard behind an offense that looks just about as good as we've ever seen in Greenville. They're up by 27 over Georgia State. For now, it's back to you, fellas. But, of course, if anything changes, you'll see it right here.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. They are stuck deep in their own territory and trying to get out, opening the drive from their own 3. They'll give it to the back. An explosive play in the running game as he's got the first down.
You know, as a defense, you can have the right call and the right guy in the right spot, but that guy's just too good. And how about the running back on that play? Just making it happen, breaking off the huge gain. It's tough to get these guys on the ground.
Works his way into the traffic and picks up 3 to the 17.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. That's the end of the period, and Duke has the lead. This has been a complete obliteration so far, as the third quarter stats will show you. So will the beatdown continue, or is this a comeback for the ages in store? We'll see as we start the fourth. They had a chance to mull things over, and let's see how they start the final period here on 2nd down. They'll leave it with him. They finally get a hold of him, knocking him down behind the line of scrimmage. He had been running wild.
And the D does it again. I feel like it's a repeat. We could play that over and over today. They've had a great game against the pass, against the run, limiting the big plays, and they do it again. Just watch them where they're supposed to be. They're physical. They don't give up a lot of tackles, a lot of yards after the tackle. Just a great performance by this D.
Well, you just get the feeling, too, that if they're going to claw their way back in this game, his legs are going to have to be a factor. What a great job scrambling that time. Nothing open. He didn't panic. He saw some green grass. He was able to get outside, away from the defense, get upfield. That play is going to help their momentum. They need